All right. Well, I'm really excited to be here today, and I'm looking forward to sharing what we're working on for our customers at MillerKnoll. So, my name is Lorna Jean, and I lead 3D visualization strategy at MillerKnoll. And I've always been a big ideas person, little bit of a disruptor. I think that comment went home with me in Girl Scouts. And I've never really accepted the way that things have, quote, always been done. Not everybody likes change, but I've always loved a new idea, especially if it means that we get to make a change. I've now worked at companies of all different sizes, attempting to innovate and turn those ideas into reality. I actually started out with a degree in interior architecture and design, so I have no computer science background, but I did specialize in 3D visualization. And at the time, I won't name what time that was, that actually meant HD renderings and 360 experiences. As we began to see AR and VR enter the scene, I adjusted my career path and I very quickly moved into marketing. I wanted to be at the forefront of every new opportunity and capability that I could possibly bring to my companies for visualization. Now I have over a decade of experience leading innovation efforts for contract design dealers and customers. And at MillerKnoll, my focus is centered entirely on emerging technology and 3D visualization efforts. Through my experiences, I've learned that to accomplish anything at scale, it's not just about planting the seed of a new idea, but zooming out above the trees and being able to study the shape of the forest. So today, I'm going to share with you a little bit about our visualization journey, my company, and how the nitty-gritty back-end work is what empowered us to zoom out and execute this big idea. So now that I've told you a bit about myself and what I'll be sharing today, I'd like to introduce you to MillerKnoll. We are a collective of dynamic brands and one of the largest, most influential modern design companies in the world. We are the result of a deep legacy of design, innovation, and social good. MillerKnoll was created in 2021 from the combination of Herman Miller and Knoll and includes brands like Design Within Reach, Hay, Maharam, Mudo, Geiger, and many more. While MillerKnoll has a rich history of both timeless classics and design innovation, we were not always known for our technological advances. So back in 2018, we were still just Herman Miller. We didn't actually have a digital department yet. We had a subset of marketing called digital marketing that acted as a bridge between engineering, IT, and marketing. With the acquisition of Design Within Reach came an influx of retail knowledge and resources, and we needed a bigger, better way and process to keep everything in place. The digital marketing team's job was about to get a lot bigger. So we hired our first chief digital officer in the spring of 2019 and have not stopped growing since. But back in 2019, there we go. This was all just getting started. One of our new CDO's first initiatives for his team was to explore what we were currently doing for 3D visualization, develop a strategy to bring this work together, and move forward. They found that Herman Miller's previous 3D product configurators were disconnected from each other and our systems. They used legacy technology, and we were not able to update the data or the models. There was an increased need for a centralized 3D visualization system that could operate across all MillerKnoll sites and brands. And we realized that this would be a massive undertaking and required a trusted partner to work through it with us, because we did not want to build this twice. The internal team developed a list of needs, which in turn generated the list of requirements that we'd have for a vendor partner. I think this is also my only word salad slide, I hope. So first and foremost, we knew that we'd need a scalable solution and therefore required a partner with robust CMS capabilities. We needed to sustain longevity, support integration, and start to get ahead of the market. This meant that our partner had to have good company health, robust API support, and an innovative roadmap. We needed them to be knowledgeable about our market and provide a data-driven solution to support our large catalogs of content. So in 2020, there were over 300 visualization companies offering 3D services in the US, and we contacted over 20 of them. So to aid us during this process, we created a comparison rubric based on features and capabilities like WebGL that we knew we wanted to leverage in the future, and utilize this throughout our vendor research and interviews. As part of the selection process, we got rough quotes from each potential partner based on our scope. While we knew that the upfront cost would be significant, we were very excited for the future of 3D product visualization, not just because of the innovative technology, but also because of the incredible return on investment that we'd started to see across the industry, which of course is what we focused on with leadership. So we were able to share not only where this technology was going and the experience it would create for our clients, but also how the revenue generated from these enhanced experiences would help offset the initial investment. So we had already learned that 3D product visualization has been proven to improve user engagement, brand awareness, and conversion rates, as well as significantly reduce purchase returns. During our industry research at the time, Macy's had shared that since adding 3D visualization in over 100 stores, they'd experienced a healthy 15 to 20% increase in sales and a 25% reduction in returns. A source from Ethan Allen also shared that they increased revenue 15 to 20% in locations with 3D visualization tools, and Crate and Barrel increased online sales 20% since adding 3D visualization capabilities. We had already, our vendors that were interviewed while we were doing our research coincided on an average of 15% increase in add to cart for 3D visualization, a 30% increase with AR, and a 40% increase in sales with space configurators. So we felt that it was a fortuitous time to be fully stepping into this arena and begin utilizing this new technology. We ultimately chose Marcuzzo as our vendor partner, primarily for their data-first architecture, cutting-edge WebGL rendering, and the ability to scale to our needs across our growing portfolio of brands and sites. Once we had our partner selected, we dove right into our initial proof of concept project. We wanted to test this new technology for ourselves with a project where we could get real-time feedback from users. So the goal of our proof of concept was not only to test our selected vendor, but also to create a validating configurator project that we could integrate into our in-store iPad experience. So to really put Marcuzzo to the test, we were starting with our heaviest, most complicated models, performance seating. And I know there's a lot of people here today that build airplanes and spaceships, but there are a lot of geodes on these performance seating chairs, I promise you. The Aeron chair has a lot of options. So we worked with our product specialists on the performance seating team to transfer as much product reference content to our vendor as we possibly could. So this meant engineering CAD models, we call them step files, price books, photographic reference, renderings, adjustment videos, really anything that we could get our hands on to walk them through how our products worked and the value that they brought to our customers. So Marcuzz's visualization artists took all of that content and began to bring our new experience to life with support from the product specialists. So they were really the ones on our side that ensured that this work stayed true to spec, and it included the most realistic materials possible every step of the way. And this is where I actually came in. So previously at Miller, I was working in IT and managing design and UX for our contract dealer tools. And I was really excited to get back to working more closely with 3D visualization, especially since I'd actually already had integration with this team's work on my tool roadmap. So at this point, the vendor selection process had already been completed, and we were well into the development work with Marcuzzo on the proof of concept project. One of my first initiatives was to begin reaching out to people across our family of MillerKnoll brands to find out what they were using. What vendors, how long and how much were their contracts, how many products did they have modeled, what capabilities were they leveraging or did they really want to leverage in the future? As an introvert, this was an extremely intimidating first initiative, but I had a very long list of questions that I came up with, and after a lot of time zone calculation, I started connecting with people all over the world that I had never met before. So I virtually traveled to Japan, Denmark, Brazil, and many more places, interviewing and learning about the challenges faced across our family of brands, what their future dreams and priorities were, and finding opportunities to consolidate and streamline wherever possible. So I took all of this information and essentially compiled the world's biggest Airtable spreadsheet, which if you hate Excel as much as I do, I highly recommend Airtable. They did not pay me to say that. So for the first time ever, we were actually able to analyze our 3D visualization efforts and current status on an entire brand family level, with the goal of creating a global solution that could help empower all of us. And I finally felt like I actually had a good place to start. So from all of this work, we identified 5 main audiences that would be supported by our new 3D visualization strategy. And those were US retail, e-commerce, retail, brick and mortar, international retail, e-commerce, the online contract channel, which is our term for B2B, and our contract dealer digital tools. So our number one priority was an initial integration with all 5 of these audiences, leveraging the performance seeding work that would be completed during the proof of concept project. But before we could begin that integration work, we needed to build a strong, scalable foundation. Let's see. All right, so as I've shared, we had tried many things related to 3D visualization over the past few years, and what actually became increasingly clear is that the back end is what truly matters a lot. Our initial focus in the past was always on getting the materials, the visuals, and the user interface right, which is super important because that's what people see. But once those visuals were perfected, we realized that we needed a more powerful and adaptable back end to manage entire catalogs across those 5 different audiences and regions. I already shared that MillerKnoll sells products to both retail and contract clients. Well, they each have a different subset of configurable options. There can be as many as 6,000 possible options on a contract chair. So you can imagine how painful a manual pricing update would be. MillerKnoll is a collective, so whatever tool we ended up utilizing, we knew that it needed to be data agnostic so that it could function with any brand's product data. And we learned that building a beautiful front-end solution was not enough, and that the ability to manage our 3D assets and to build, maintain, and scale these product configurators is what would empower us to deliver a new best-in-class standard for 3D visualization. So with the goal of creating a system that was equally beautiful and efficient, we worked closely with Marcuzzo to develop a completely code-free, self-service configurator of product configurators. And this meant that on our side, we had to track down all of the different data that it takes to bring product configuration to life. SKUs, overall pricing, per part pricing, materials, thumbnails, product option information. As Don Miller emphasized yesterday, the data is critical. The data was in completely different parts of the company, and it was accessible in totally different ways. CIFs, exports, APIs, it had never all actually been brought together in one place in a meaningful way. So we had our work cut out for us, and many times I felt like we were really just having meetings that led to more meetings, but eventually our hard work and dedication got us to the right people. and we began mapping out an entirely new data flow that would feed into Marc's CMS and create a truly data-driven solution. This allowed us to make specialized versions of configurators quickly, spinning up alternate options for different sales channels and regional markets, pushing price and material updates, and leveraging those materials across all subsets, all without being dependent on a fixed release schedule. So this new approach empowers non-technical contributors, like web producers, to manage, publish, and maintain complex new 3D product configurators in the CMS with unprecedented speed, reducing the time to market for new product configurators and enabling our developers to focus on integrations and innovations instead of publishing. Once published, the self-service code-free product configurators provide a high-definition, real-time customization experience. It also supports SKU resolution and, of course, simplifies maintenance. This past spring, we utilized this new code-free system to power our first launch at select Herman Miller retail stores across the US, finally bringing our proof of concept project to life just over 1 year after we completed our vendor selection. So, created to serve in-store customers during the height of the pandemic, our in-store iPad experience originally targeted those who wanted a self-guided journey on deciding which chair to purchase from our performance seating line. The iPad supplied customers with information surrounding key product benefits and sizing and alignment. In 2021, our UX team had conducted a study, and they identified that there were opportunities to serve multiple audiences better by introducing a configurator into the iPad experience. This would support the uncovered insight that the iPads were actually primarily serving as a sales tool versus a self-guided experience as they'd originally been intended. They required a better way for customers to add their personal touches to the chair that a performance specialist had already helped them pick out. In the legacy experience, the Make It Yours link that you can see at the bottom of the iPad image took customers out to our store.com retail site. The new configurator experience allows in-store customers to see and fully explore their customized product in place, as well as providing pricing and retail product ID numbers for store sales associates to process the order. After successfully updating the in-store iPad experience with the new configurators, our developers quickly pivoted to integration with our next audience, the online contract channel. This would be the first time the new 3D visualization capabilities would be live on a public-facing website. But we'd already done our homework. We had been working with Marcent since the beginning of the year, after proof of concept completion, to add all of the contract options and materials available to the retail models that had already been created. As I mentioned earlier, each contract product has thousands of additional options and materials available to the options that are not available to retail. So this was a huge undertaking to add all of the configurable contract options. And in late June of this year, there we go, we launched configurators for our top performance seating products on the hermanmiller.com contract website in the US. And we expect to roll out to additional US and international sites over the next 18 months, serving consumers and international markets in mid-2023. We have an aggressive roadmap and a lot of ground to cover, not only with audience integration, but also with the addition of new features like AR, and of course, a very long list of products to model. But at MillerKnoll, we know there's a lot of value in being able to specialize and visualize exactly what you're going to receive in your order. 3D configuration is part of our overall digital experience portfolio, and it's very important for us to have visualization at the front of how we present our products. As our Chief Digital Officer, Ben Groom, recently said, the ability to create and maintain accurate, beautiful 3D product visualization experiences with ease across the enterprise is meaningful. It brings efficiency and scale to our vision for next-generation customer experiences. Technology requires good design, to be good technology. The well-designed foundations that we're building today will set us up for success as we look forward to those next-generation customer experiences. We don't know exactly what the future looks like, but we do know that today we're planting the trees for what will inevitably be our tomorrow. Across every single market, trends and adoptions of technologies are different, but one thing is clear. These new immersive experiences are becoming more and more central to how we live and work. One of my favorite personal overused sayings is that our only constant is change. We're knee-deep in this revolution every day, working to build and solidify our foundations in preparation. Having lived the experience of launching a massive project at a high-end retailer who really cares about visualization, we can already see how our business needs are tied to 3D and new emerging technologies. And though many parts of these immersive experiences still remain undefined, we know the real-time 3D content is the foundation of Web3, and that retailers with a strong 3D content strategy and system will be best positioned to succeed as we look forward to making product configuration and representation in Web3 a reality. Our ultimate goal is to provide a scalable and data-agnostic configuration tool across all brands, producing high-fidelity product visualization to guide the future purchase process and engage with our customers. We strongly believe that the foundation we're building today prepares us for success in whatever verse we want to work in next. Thank you. I know it's time for your break. I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone does stick around.